Okay, so name the trait is actually nothing more than a trick. You could describe it as a scam, okay? Now, the problem with it is that it's very difficult to understand how it works. And it's even more difficult to explain it to somebody else in a way that they can understand. It reminds me of the shop till change scam. Okay, it's where somebody goes into, say, a bar, and then they buy something, and with the change they like add a note to that change and put it back and go, can you change this for like a 10 or whatever, and then I can't remember exactly how it works, but it's similar in that the scam is quite hard to get your head around. And I've been shown it because I worked in a bar where some people had been trying it in the area, and the way they explained this trick to us so that we'd understand was to actually do it on us a few times, and then step by step get us to do the trick on each other, until we could like actually do the trick, and then you kind of get an idea of how it works, right? So I think because no one's effectively explained how name the trait works, I'm going to use a similar method. I'm going to show you step by step how to construct and name the trait scam. And at the end of the video, I want you to actually go and create your own name the trait using the steps that I've shown you, okay? And if you can do that, then I've succeeded, and you will finally understand name the trait and why it is nothing more than a ridiculous, impossible challenge. So to start building our name the trait, we need to make sure that the value that we're going to center it around is like discrete and distinct, okay? So it needs to be like apart or detached from others, separate, distinct, recognizably different in nature from something else of a similar type, okay? So we can choose anything as long as it's the kind of thing we can describe in the following terms. So like we've got X here, which is the thing that we're going to focus our name the trait on, and not X, and not X would be like everything in the imaginable universe that is not X, okay? Once we've decided on something to use as X, we can begin to construct our ridiculous challenge, which will be at the heart of our name the trait. Okay, and that is an impossible challenge, and it is the same in every name the trait, and it is name a trait that were it lacking in X would make X no longer X. Now this is still early days in our construction. I'm just going to put a value in just now so that you can get a little bit of an idea of how ludicrous this challenge is. So I'm going to choose bird, okay? And this makes the challenge name a trait were it lacking in a bird would make a bird no longer a bird. Now if you went to ask somebody this, if you challenged somebody to do this, they'd probably just look at you funny and walk away, which would be the right thing to do. What makes a bird is not down to a trait or even a series of traits. What makes a bird is that it is inherently a bird. For instance, if you think of some traits yourself, like, okay, you could say life, okay, being alive. Well, if that's lacking, okay, so that a bird is dead, it's still going to be a bird. It's just going to be a dead bird. You could say flight. There's any number of traits that you come up with, any series of traits will not fulfill this challenge, because it's impossible, right, for X not to be X. So we cannot name a trait that were it lacking in X would make X no longer X. Okay, so we're going to add the first layer of misdirection here, and we're going to employ something from the realm of not X, and we're going to include it in the impossible challenge, so that eventually we're going to have name a trait lacking in not X that were it lacking in X would make X no longer X. Now this is the same question as this, okay? It's just been dressed up in another layer of like misdirection and complication. So let's put some values into this, and we'll center it around bird again, so X will be bird, and we'll choose something from the realm of not bird, which we'll choose something a little bit similar. We'll go with donkey. Okay, and I'm just going to add the word also in just to make it read a little bit better. And this is going to leave us with name a trait lacking in a donkey that we're also lacking in a bird would make a bird no longer a bird. So this is the original bullshit challenge of name something lacking in a bird that would make a bird no longer a bird, just with an extra sprinkling of bullshit on top. And now it's time to add a third layer of bullshit and misdirection. And what we're going to do now is we're going to hide, we're going to try and hide that this question is about the original subject X, which here would be a bird. And the way we're going to do that is by identifying something that the person playing the game feels is absolutely inherent to a bird. Okay, so for this example we're going to choose birds are descended from dinosaurs. Okay, so we're going to ascertain that this person who's playing this game believes that birds are descended from dinosaurs, and we're going to add this into the impossible ridiculous challenge. And that leaves us with the following. So we have a statement that the victim is either asked to agree to or already seems to agree with, and we have the challenge. Okay, so the statement is birds are descended from dinosaurs, which the victim agrees. And then we go, okay, so name the trait lacking in a donkey that if it were also lacking in a bird would make a bird no longer descended from dinosaurs. So far I've shown you how to take something distinct and turn it into an impossible ridiculous challenge that looks like this, and then hide this challenge by dressing it up so that it looks something a little like the following. We have a way to go until we arrive at a full name the trait construction. So this is a practical demonstration, and it requires audience involvement. So at this point I want you to pause the video and take something distinct, create the impossible challenge using it, and then dress it up so that it looks exactly like this. Okay, so now that you've done that, you understand the first few stages of name the trait, and now we can move on to the further levels of misdirection that are involved. Okay, now let's build a real-life name the trait from scratch, and we can look at some other methods that are used in the scam to make it a little bit easier for people to swallow. So let's build the name the trait that we see used often by vegan activists, both online and in the street. So the distinct value X for this will be humans, Once we've got that, we're going to start with the impossible challenge. Okay, so this would end up reading as: name a trait that, were it lacking in humans, would make humans no longer humans. And from the realm of everything that is not humans, so the term not X, we are going to choose carrots. Also, I was supposed to say farm animals, but we'll run with carrots because that's going to show you how ridiculous this name the trait is. And now we'll try to hide the fact that this name the trait challenge is actually about humans by adding something in that is seen as something inherent to humans. Okay, so this might be a good time to stop and just sum up where we've got to. Okay, so what we've got now is the statement that the person playing the game has to agree with, which is number one, and that is humans are something inherent to humans. Victim agrees. So name a trait lacking in carrots that, were also lacking in humans, would make humans no longer something inherent to humans. Now what we're going to do a little bit differently in this name the trait is we're going to identify a treatment, okay, which the person playing the game believes is something that is inherently right, okay, with regards to X, which is humans. So in this case, the something inherent can be like a treatment, and that treatment will be that it's not okay to kill and eat humans. Okay, so we've now established the statement that the victim agrees as being: humans are not okay to kill and eat. So we can change name a trait lacking in carrots that, were it also lacking in humans, would make humans no longer human. We can change that to name a trait lacking in carrots that, were it also lacking in humans, would make humans no longer not okay to kill and eat. We've already established that humans are not okay to kill and eat. So when we change the last part of the challenge to not okay to kill and eat, then it still makes sense. Now this is it's very messy. It doesn't read very well, and what we want really, or what I was trying to do, is make like an elegant name the trait. Okay, so let's just clean the language up a bit in this. Okay, so we'll change a statement to something a bit clearer, which is like, it's not okay to kill and eat humans. But the second part's still a little bit messy, so we'll see if we can like clean that up a little bit. You can see there's maybe one way we can begin to tidy it up, and that is, it says lacking humans would make humans no longer not. Okay, so no longer not cancels itself out, so we can clean that out. Okay, so this is more like a name the trait that you see used like in street activism, okay, and so they'll either like ask like, do you think it's okay to kill and eat humans, to establish the first statement, or you don't even need to go that far, because anyone that's going to be playing the game at all will already believe that it's not okay to kill and eat humans, because if they do think it's okay to kill and eat humans, then name the trait won't work on them anyway. Okay, so let's like make it about farm animals, just to make everything a little bit more clear, and see if we can tidy up the name the trait challenge a little bit. Now what we have here is something that reads like reasonably well and completely conceals the fact that what it actually is the following, and all that has been done is it's been dressed up. There's no difference between this and this. We can't possibly answer this, which is the same reason that we cannot possibly answer this challenge. Now you don't need to worry about any trouble you might encountering with anyone who doesn't want to play the game, because remember, it's essential to playing the game like that somebody's gonna accept a statement, okay, like a statement which is, in this case, it's not okay to kill any humans. Now you might find it difficult to pin the person down on it. They might say, well, what about special circumstances, right? Special circumstances can be completely ignored by just going through them one by one and going, well, yeah, okay, but that doesn't count in this, in that, and it doesn't count in this. It doesn't count for humans or animals. For instance, the person might go, well, it's not okay to kill any humans. I don't agree. What about if somebody's in your house with a gun and you know they mean business and you know they intend to kill you and your family? Then it's okay to kill them in self-defense. And then, you know, even the most hardcore vegan go, well, yeah, of course, you know, well, if there was a lion in my front room and it was about to eat my baby, right, then I would shoot it. I would shoot it without hesitation to defend my family, defend myself. Let's move on and ignore that. So that's how it would go. It doesn't matter what you're going to bring up. Okay, like, oh, it's okay to eat humans in a situation where one a lifeboat. So I don't agree with the first statement. It's not okay to eat like humans on if we're starving on a lifeboat, one person's dead, there's 10 of us, we can eat them. Then that's okay. And the person will go, yeah, okay, like, well, but putting that aside, okay, you know, like, we're not talking about that, right? You see, like, you don't need to worry about anyone that's going to bring out any special circumstances, because it can just be moved to the side and go, yeah, but apart from that special circumstance, what about? What about you try to tell me a trait that, if lacking in X, would make X no longer X, right? Okay, so once the person who's walked into this trap has been successfully scammed into conceding defeat and admitting that they have a contradiction in their worldview or whatever, right? Then they are made to accept the following concession, which in this case is like, therefore it's not okay to eat farm animals, right? But however, like as I've shown, what's happened here is the person has been asked this question, which is impossible to ever actually answer. Therefore, the concession is completely meaningless and bullshit, and is not a requirement. Okay. Now, my initial goal with this was to go through like many of the different versions of name the trait, and even like versions of name the trait for other things other than like humans and not humans, and build them and show you how it can work for anything. And ultimately what I wanted to do was from scratch build Ask Yourself's personal version of name the trait. Now this is absolutely possible to do. However, this video is already long enough, and I've spent like enough time on this bullshit. At some point in the future, I might do that, but I've given the tools here for anyone to actually build Ask Yourself's name the trait themselves. Okay, you're gonna have to add a few more layers of bullshit and misdirection to it, but you can absolutely change the following statement. into the challenge that was created by Ask Yourself, because this is this. Okay, this is exactly the same. Now, if none of this is making sense at the moment, you are gonna have to like sit down and create and name the trait yourself from scratch. Okay. And what I'll do, I'll just quickly clean this one up just to show that you can also make it a positive. As in, like, you don't have to have the lacking part, you can have the present trait when it's directed as a challenge to somebody. Because another way of saying name a trait that were lacking in X would make X no longer X is to say name a trait that makes X X. Okay, and as I said before, we're choosing something that is distinct and discrete. Okay, and that is what it is because it inherently is that. Okay, so like for instance, humans are inherently human. No trait or series of traits makes a human human, right? It just is inherently human. So as long as you choose something that has like has the inherent value of itself, right, at the beginning, then you can't go wrong. Now, I'd just like to say here, I'm not like accusing people that use name the trait of being scam artists, because I actually believe name the trait is such an elegant trick that most of the people who use it don't even know that it's a scam, right? That's how good it is. And so I'm going to extend like the benefit of the doubt to them. I'm not going to judge them on the fact that they've used name the trait and defended it and anything else like that. Like, but now that I've laid name the trait to rest, I'm interested in what's going to come of it. Like, if any of these like people that use name the trait have watched this video and worked through the steps, they're also going to know that it's a scam, right? Are they still going to use it? Like, I think that they were well within their rights to use it, but if they want to use it in an honest way, what they'll have to do is, like, and I'm thinking in my mind's eye, like, imagine like James Aspey like talking to someone, because he's a nice guy, he's talking to someone in the street and he pulls the name the trait on them, right? And they fall for it and basically get mind raped by it. And what he does is afterwards he goes, well, look, like, I pulled a bit of a trick on you there, right? Like, it's a little bit of a loaded question. Obviously, like, what I've tried to do is I've tried to make you like justify killing and eating humans, right? But what I've done by doing that is made you think about the way we treat humans in society, and at the same time think about how we treat animals in society, right? So like, I've got you thinking, and I want you to go home and just put a bit more thought into how we treat animals. Okay? See you later. Give us a phone call when you want to become vegan. That would be like an honest use of name the trait. And when it comes to, say, Ask Yourself, like, who created name the trait, I believe, I don't even think that he like is actually out to scam people with it. I think he either stumbled on it or his superior intellect managed to like give birth to something that fooled itself, right? So I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt that he doesn't even know that he's employing a scam, right? With name the trait. Like, he could turn around and go, yeah, like, I've known all along it's a scam, I'm a fucking genius. Like, because if he made this on purpose, then yeah, like, he's a genius. And I did it for the animals. That's completely fair. But I think what's probably more likely is that he doesn't know himself that it's a scam. Okay, so now that Ask Yourself has perhaps watched this video, and now also realizes that name the trait is a scam, I'm interested in what he's going to do going forward. What I would like to see, the concession I'd like Firstly, I'd like him to stop saying that name the trait is a tool to reveal contradictions in people's worldview, because it's fairly clear that actually name the trait in itself contains the contradiction. And secondly, I would like him to stop calling people who raise objections to him or objections to the use of name the trait when he uses it against them. And this is whether he's using name the trait based around veganism or name the trait raised around AI and sentience. Disclaimer, I actually kind of agree with Ask Yourself's view on artificial intelligence sentience. But he uses name the trait for many things, but he will also, when somebody raises an objection to it, he'll call them intellectually dishonest. Now, it's fairly clear that name the trait is a scam. No matter what you put into it, it's a scam, right? And therefore, anybody who raises objection to it, now that Ask Yourself knows that it's a scam, he can't really call them intellectually dishonest. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to leave with a question for Ask Yourself. Now, this is based on anything that you do in the future, not in the past. Like I said, I don't think that you realized that name the trait was actually an intellectually dishonest tool. But going forward, if somebody knowingly uses a intellectually dishonest tool, okay, knowingly uses an intellectually dishonest tool, does that make them intellectually dishonest? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?